Hey everyone, welcome back to TV Deep Dive. I'm your host, Amelia, and today we're breaking down the penultimate episode of Beyond the Gates Season 1. And wow, what an absolute roller coaster this was. Before we dive in, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss our weekly recaps. And this is your official spoiler warning. We're covering everything that happened in episode 19, Reckoning. So if you haven't watched yet, bookmark this video and come back after you've seen it. After 18 episodes of building tensions, secret alliances, and shocking revelations, Reckoning finally brings many of our key storylines to their breaking point, setting up what promises to be an explosive season finale next week. Let's break down everything that happened in this game-changing episode. Episode 19, titled Reckoning, centers around the long-awaited deposition in the Oakwood Estates land fraud case, where multiple characters are forced to choose between self-preservation and loyalty. Meanwhile, the annual Founders' Day celebration becomes the backdrop for several explosive confrontations as nearly every relationship in the community reaches a critical turning point. After the shocking revelations in episode 18 about Vernon's involvement with Marcus Hamilton's death 25 years ago, this episode deals with the fallout as characters grapple with hard truths and impossible choices. The writers brilliantly juxtapose the public celebration of Oakwood's founding with the private unraveling of the very lies that Foundation was built upon. What makes this episode particularly powerful is how it brings together narrative threads that have been carefully developed since the pilot. Characters who have been dancing around the truth for 18 episodes are finally forced to confront reality, creating some of the most emotionally resonant scenes of the entire season. The episode opens with Danny Dupree preparing for her deposition in the class action lawsuit against her father's company. The internal conflict is written all over her face. Testifying truthfully means betraying her family, while lying under oath contradicts everything she believes in as an attorney. The deposition scenes are masterfully intercut with flashbacks to key moments from the season. Danny finding the original documents in episode 1, her confrontation with Vernon in episode 7, and her secret meetings with the affected families from the original land deal throughout the season. This editing technique brilliantly reminds viewers of Danny's journey while heightening the emotional impact of her testimony. When Danny finally takes the stand, the tension is palpable. The scene is shot with tight close-ups that don't let us escape the emotional weight of the moment. When the opposing counsel asks her directly about Vernon's knowledge of the fraudulent land transfers, the entire season's worth of tension hangs on her answer. Her testimony, that she has documentation proving Vernon knowingly displaced families through fraudulent means, marks the point of no return for the Dupree family. The look on Anita's face as she sits in the gallery speaks volumes about the personal cost of this truth. Meanwhile, Martin Richardson's surprise appearance at the deposition introduces another layer of complexity. His revelation that the Richardson banking group was complicit in financing the original development, knowing the legal issues, creates even more complications, effectively dragging both powerful families into the scandal. In stark contrast to the deposition's raw emotion, we cut to Anita overseeing preparations for the Founders' Day celebration with her characteristic precision and control. This juxtaposition perfectly captures Anita's compartmentalization skills that we've seen throughout the season. The scene where Leslie Thomas arrives early to help, but clearly aims to extract information about the deposition showcases the brilliant cat and mouse dynamic these two women have developed since their confrontation in episode 12. Their exchange is a masterclass in subtext, superficially discussing flower arrangements while actually negotiating power and information. Meanwhile, Chelsea Hamilton uses the event preparations to solidify her alliance with Nicole Dupree Richardson, continuing their unexpected partnership that began in episode 15. Their scenes together show how far these former rivals have come, united by their shared determination to separate their own destinies from their father's feud. The preparation scenes effectively build tension while reminding us of the community's obsession with appearances, the very theme that has driven the series from the beginning. As Anita tells her event coordinator, especially today, everything must be perfect. The community needs to remember why Oakwood matters. The irony, of course, is that the community's very foundation is being questioned across town at the courthouse. Following the financial revelations from episodes 16 and 17, this episode finally brings Ted Richardson's storyline to its breaking point. After months of hiding his gambling debts and the leveraging of family assets, Ted faces the collapse of his carefully constructed facade. The scene between Ted and Nicole in their bedroom as he finally confesses the extent of his financial deception is heart-wrenching. After a season of suspecting affairs or substance abuse, Nicole's realization that Ted has gambled away not just their savings, but portions of her trust fund lands like a physical blow. When Nicole asks, "Was any of it real? Us? This life?" The question resonates beyond their marriage to the show's central theme about authenticity versus appearance. Ted's response, "I wanted it to be real so badly that I destroyed it," might be the most honest he's been all season. The scene culminates in Ted revealing he's been approached by federal investigators regarding potential money laundering through his accounts, a revelation that ties his storyline directly to the larger Richardson family issues and sets up potential criminal proceedings beyond the civil case. With Vernon's reputation in freefall following the deposition revelations, Bill Hamilton makes his long anticipated move to consolidate power in Oakwood. His meeting with the community board members to propose emergency changes to the community charter represents the culmination of the season long power struggle between these two men. What makes this sequence particularly compelling is that after 18 episodes portraying Bill as an antagonist to Vernon, the show complicates our perspective by revealing that Bill's motivations stem from more than simple rivalry. His impassioned speech about returning Oakwood to its original vision references his brother Marcus's dream for the community before his mysterious death, a narrative thread that has been slowly unspooled throughout the season. However, the arrival of Naomi Hamilton during her father's presentation creates the episode's most surprising twist. Having discovered her father's own ethical compromises regarding community water rights, the storyline introduced in episode 14, Naomi publicly challenges Bill's moral authority in a scene that parallels Danny's stand against Vernon. The sequence ends with Bill suffering what appears to be a heart attack, a shocking moment that leaves his fate uncertain heading into the finale and potentially reshapes the community's power dynamics yet again. After an entire season of references to Marcus Hamilton's death 25 years ago, this episode finally provides the complete picture through a series of revealing conversations. The scene between Vernon and Anita in their car after the deposition is particularly powerful. Vernon's confession that he didn't directly cause Marcus's death, but knowingly covered up the real cause, environmental contamination on the original development site, adds layers of moral complexity to his character. His tearful admission that "I convinced myself it was for the greater good, that Oakwood would benefit more families than it hurt," encapsulates the ethical compromise at the heart of the community. This revelation is brilliantly paired with a scene between Eva Thomas and Martin Richardson, where we learn that Eva was romantically involved with Marcus before his death and has been secretly investigating the truth for decades. Her partnership with Martin explains many of their mysterious meetings throughout the season that some viewers interpreted as a potential affair. The sequence culminates in Smitty discovering Martin and Eva's research wall, first glimpsed in episode 9, misinterpreting their investigation as evidence of an affair. This misunderstanding sets up a painful confrontation that threatens one of the show's most beloved relationships heading into the finale. The Founders' Day celebration serves as the perfect backdrop for multiple confrontations as private tensions finally erupt into public view. The elegant event, with its symbolic significance, becomes the battleground where the community's carefully maintained image finally shatters. Nicole versus Anita. When Nicole confronts Anita about knowing Ted was using Dupra family connections for his illegal financial dealings, years of mother-daughter tension explode. Nicole's accusation that Anita cares more about appearances than her own daughter's happiness lands particularly hard after a season of watching Anita prioritize the family's public image. Second, Chelsea versus Bill. Chelsea's public assumption of her father's business responsibilities following his medical emergency creates a power shift that's been building since her alliance with Nicole. Her announcement of new direction for Hamilton Industries directly challenges her father's legacy. 3. Leslie's betrayal revealed. The revelation that Leslie has been feeding information to both the Hamiltons and the prosecution throughout the season creates a dramatic confrontation with Eva, who finally discovers her sister's true motivations stem from their family losing property in the original Oakwood development. Fourth, Danny and Vernon's final stand. Perhaps most powerfully, Danny and Vernon's confrontation in his study during the party brings their season-long conflict to its emotional peak. Vernon's acknowledgement that "you are stronger than I ever was" marks a turning point in their relationship and possibly Vernon's first step toward redemption. The sequence culminates in Anita taking the stage to give her Founders Day speech, only to falter as she sees her family fractured around her. Her departure from the prepared remarks to offer a more personal and honest reflection hints at her own potential evolution heading into the finale. 1. Ted, after his confrontation with Nicole, is shown meeting with federal agents, suggesting he might turn state's evidence against both the Richardson and Dupree financial interests. 2. Smitty discovers additional documents in Martin's research that appear to implicate Anita more directly in the Marcus Hamilton cover-up than previously revealed. 3. Leslie receives a mysterious phone call indicating she has been working with a yet unrevealed third party beyond both families. Most dramatically, as Vernon leaves the Founders Day event, he's confronted by an unseen figure whose voice we recognize as belonging to someone we thought was long gone, suggesting a shocking return that will recontextualize the entire season. The final shot shows Danny receiving an anonymous envelope containing what appears to be medical reports related to Marcus Hamilton's death, with a note reading simply, "The truth is worse than you know," leaving viewers with the tantalizing suggestion that even after 19 episodes of revelations, the full story of Oakwood's founding remains untold. Vernon and Anita Dupree, from seemingly untouchable community leaders to a couple facing the collapse of their carefully built empire. Their journey has revealed both their moral compromises and their genuine belief that they were building something valuable. Danny Dupree has completed her transformation from idealistic outsider to the moral center of the show, willing to sacrifice family loyalty for truth while still grappling with the consequences of her choices. Nicole and Ted. Their marriage has evolved from a seemingly perfect partnership to a relationship built on mutual deception, with Nicole now emerging as a stronger, more independent figure. Bill Hamilton. His evolution from straightforward antagonist to a complex figure motivated by family loyalty and his brother's memory has been one of the season's most compelling arcs. Chelsea and Naomi Hamilton. Both have stepped out of their father's shadow in different ways. Chelsea through business ambition and Naomi through moral conviction. Martin and Smitty. Their relationship has weathered external pressures, only to face its greatest test through misunderstanding and secrets kept with good intentions. Leslie and Eva Thomas. The revelation of their connection to Oakwood's original families transforms them from peripheral figures to central players in the community's moral reckoning. 1. The mysterious figure confronting Vernon is likely Marcus Hamilton himself, whose death was faked for reasons that will reframe the entire season's conflict. 2. Anita will be forced to choose between protecting Vernon and salvaging her relationship with her daughters. 3. The class action lawsuit will result in a settlement that fundamentally restructures Oakwood's governance and ownership. 4. Ted's cooperation with federal authorities will have unexpected consequences for both families. 5. Martin and Smitty's relationship will survive, but be fundamentally changed by the revelations. 6. Chelsea and Nicole's alliance will position them as the community's new leadership. Episode 19 of Beyond the Gates delivers everything we've come to expect from this outstanding drama: complex moral dilemmas, powerful performances, and shocking revelations that respect the audience's intelligence. By bringing so many storylines to their breaking point, this episode perfectly sets up what promises to be an unforgettable season finale. The writers have masterfully balanced the personal and community wide stakes, making us care deeply about both the fate of individual relationships and the future of Oakwood Estates itself. What did you think of this episode? What are your predictions for the finale? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit that like button and subscribe for our finale recap coming next week, plus our upcoming season retrospective special. Until then, I'm Amelia for TV Deep Dive, and I'll see you beyond the gates.